के इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन यानी 2024 एग्जाम के लिए काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट रहने वाले हैं। आरबीएससी बोर्ड 12th एग्जाम इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन। जी दोस्तों, आपसे ये रिक्वेस्ट है कि आप इस वीडियो को पूरा देखना, बिल्कुल भी स्किप मत कर देना। यानी जो ये आज ये वीडियो ये आपके लिए काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट रहने वाला है, क्योंकि इसमें से डेफिनेटली 99% है ना क्वेश्चंस आएंगे। ठीक है ना। तो पहला क्वेश्चन है, रीड द पैसेज गिवन बिलो, आंसर द क्वेश्चन दैट फॉलो। यानी ये जो पैसेज है इसको आप पढ़ लेना, देख लेना और इसके आंसर दे देना। ठीक है ना। इस पैसेज का पहला क्वेश्चन है व्हाट डिड पिक्चर नोट इंटेंटली। द प्रिंस इंटेंटली न्यू nothing of what and disease old age of death. What was the king dream about? That night the king saw a very fearful dream. He dreamed 7 sign of fear. सेकेंड क्वेश्चन था पैसेज का। इसका थर्ड क्वेश्चन बनता है, why did the king order to decorate the whole city beautifully? क्यों देता आदेश? The king ordered to decorate the whole city beautifully because the prince felt great desire to see the west of outside the pleasure palace. What was the old man looking? He was wearing dirty and torn clothes. He was very lean and thin. He looked very tired and weak. He had no teeth. What did the old hermit say? The old hermit said that the 7 fears were 7 joys, and the prince would shine like the sun and leave the world and give a new message of hope and love. Next बनता है इसका, what did the voice of the wind tell the prince? The voice of the wind tell the prince that was born save mankind. Find out a word from passage which means, जिसका मीन होता है रेस्टलेस। रेस्टलेस का मतलब होता है अनकंफर्ट। मल्टी चॉइस क्वेश्चन, मल्टी चॉइस क्वेश्चन यानी छोटे वाले देख लीजिए। द नरेटर वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट द थर्ड लेवल, यानी कौन सी बात कर रहा था? ग्रांड सेंट्रल स्टेशन की बात कर रहा था नरेटर। हु वाज टॉकिंग अबाउट द थर्ड लेवल? चार्ली बात कर रहा था थर्ड लेवल के बारे में। द थर्ड लेवल वास्तव में था क्या? एन इमेजिनरी अंडरग्राउंड रेलवे प्लेटफॉर्म। चार्ली गोट ए लेटर फ्रॉम हिज फ्रेंड। चार्ली को लेटर उसके दोस्त से मिला था। What was the date on the newspaper which Charlie saw the third level? 11 जून 1854 में। The letter which Charlie received from his friend, यानी चार्ली ने अपने दोस्त से कब लेटर प्राप्त किया था? जुलाई 1854 में। सैम क्या था? एक साइकेट्रिस्ट था। चार्ली वाज सफरिंग फ्रॉम स्ट्रेस। चार्ली स्ट्रेस से पीड़ित था। द स्टोरी द टाइगर किंग इज अबाउट किंग ऑफ कहाँ का है? प्रतिबंधपुरम। द टाइगर किंग बिकेम किंग एज, कौन से ईयर में, कौन से वर्ष के अंदर वो राजा बन गया था? 20 ईयर्स, यानी 20 साल का था तब। द किंग डिसाइड टू मैरी विथ द प्रिंस ऑफ दैट स्टेट विच हैड लार्ज नंबर टाइगर इन इट्स फॉरेस्ट। द किंग सक्सीड इन किलिंग 99 टाइगर्स, मारने में सक्सेस हो गया था। द 100 टाइगर वाज ब्रोड फ्रॉम, कहाँ से लाया गया था? पीपल पार्क मद्रास से लाया गया था। कहाँ से लाया गया था? पीपल पार्क मद्रास से। द 100 टाइगर वाज किल्ड इन रियल बाई, वास्तव में किसने मारा था? हंटर्स ने मारा था। द ऑथर ट्रेवल्ड टू अंटार्कटिका ऑन ए रशियन रिसर्च वेसल एंड एकेडमिक स्कॉलसी के लिए। बर्निंग ऑफ फॉसिल फ्यूल्स रिलीज, क्या निकलता है? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड निकलता है उससे। फॉलोइंग गैस ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, यानी कौन सी गैसें ग्लोबल वार्मिंग बढ़ती है? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड से। अकॉर्डिंग टू द ऑथर ऑल फॉर्म ऑफ लाइफ आर हेडिंग टूवर्ड नेशन। अंटार्कटिका स्टोर अबाउट 90% आइस ऑफ द अर्थ टोटल लेवल। फॉर हाइगर एजुकेशन डॉक्टर सदाओ फादर सेंट टीम, कहाँ भेजा था? यूएसए भेजा था। द नेम ऑफ डॉक्टर सदाउस वाइफ, क्या नाम था? हन्ना नाम था उसका। यानी डॉक्टर सदाउस फादर वांटेड टू सी हिम ए फेमस सर्जन, बनना देखना चाहता था। सदाव एंड हन्ना मेट एट फर्स्ट टाइम कहाँ मिले थे वो? अमेरिका के अंदर मिले थे वो। और जो छोटे वाले क्वेश्चन मैंने पहले भी एक वीडियो बनाया वो जरूर देख लेना। एट द केप ऑफ सोल्जर ऑफ फॉलोइंग वर्ड्स वर रिटन बाय किसके द्वारा लिखी गई है? ये यूएस की नेवी के द्वारा लिखी गई। किसके द्वारा? यूएस की नेवी के द्वारा लिखी गई है। हमारा क्वेश्चन, व्हाट डिड फ्रेंच नोटिस दैट वाज अनयूजुअल अबाउट द स्कूल दैट डे? On that day, there was silence in the school like Sunday morning. No noise of the opening and closing of desks and lessons could be heard, and the villagers were sitting in the class and all learned very attentively. Next question है इसका, why did French not want to go to school that day? French did not want to go to school that day because his teacher had asked to prepare a lesson on participle, but he knew nothing about them. Why, why was there a large crowd in front of the bulletin board? There was a large crowd in front of the bulletin board to read the latest news. The news was that they were to study only German in their school. Why were some villagers sitting on the back benches of the class that day? Some villagers were sitting on the back benches of the class as they were sorry that they had not gone to school. They also wanted to thank M. Hamel for his sincere service. 5 number question, what was a thunderclap? These words were to me, which were the words that shocked and surprised French. The words of M. Hamel which shocked and surprised French were, my children, this is the last lesson I shall give you. The order has come from Berlin to teach only German in the school of Alsace and Lorraine. This is your last French lesson. Give a character sketch of M. Hamel. M. Hamel emerges as a very strict teacher who always keeps ruler in his hand. M. Hamel teaches even him last lesson with great patience. M. Hamel is a perfect teacher who loved his language and served in the same school for 40 years. He was very sad while leaving his country. What is Sahib looking for in the garbage dump? Where is he and where has he come from? Sahib is a young rag picker. He is looking for money in the garbage dumps. Presently, he is living at Simapuri, a palace on the border of Delhi. His family came from Bangladesh. Is Sahib happy working at the tea stall? Sahib gets 800 and all his meal, yet he is not happy working at tea stall because he is more the master of his oven. He is a servant and the tea kettle is heavier than a plastic bag. Mention the hazard of working in glass bangles industry. The working in the glass industry bangles the work in the glass bangle industry have to work in high temperature. It affect their health badly and they go blind with the dust from polishing the glass of bangles. What make the city Firozabad famous? Firozabad is famous for its glass blowing industry. Every other family in Firozabad is engaged in making bangle. Many families have spent generations working around the furnace welding glass making a bangles. Next question है, describe the life of rag pickers in Simapuri. Simapuri is situated on periphery of Delhi. Those who live here are squatters who came from Bangladesh back in 1971. About 10,000 rag pickers live here. Structures of mud with roof of tin and tarpaulin. They do not have swag, daring of running water. Food is more important for them than identity. Rag picking is the only means for survival in Simapuri. Who was Saib? What did he do? Saib was a poor rag picker boy. Every morning he would hang for coins or other valuable in the garbage dumps. Why did Saib family migrate to India? Saib's family lived in Dhaka. There were many storms that swept away their field and home. So they left Dhaka for Delhi to earn their become in life. Mukesh want to become oven master, so he won't become a motor mechanic and wants to drive a car. What were the service of emotion, awe, and fear Douglas experienced when he was thrown into the pool? What plans did he make come to the surface? When Douglas was thrown into the pool, he got frightened. On his way down, he planned that when he fit when his feet hit the bottom, he would make a big jump, come to the surface, lie flat on it, and swim to the edge of a pool. How did the instructor build a swimmer out of a Douglas? Douglas was scared of water. He hired an instructor to learn swimming. The instructor used a rope saved from drowning. He learned to inhale and exhale in water. He became perfect swimmer within 3 months and overcome his fear of water. From where did peddler get the idea of the world being a rat trap? The peddler used to sell rat trap. One day while he wandering, he got the idea of the world a rat trap. What made the peddler think that he had indeed fallen into a rat trap? They, the peddler was wandering in the forest and was unable to find a way out. Now he has understood that he is trapped in greed of 30 kroner. What made the peddler accept Adela Williamson's invitation? She assured him that he would be allowed to leave them just as freely as he came. Her politeness made the peddler acceptable her invitation. Why why was Adela happy to see the gift left by the peddler? The peddler left for Adela a rat trap and money he had stolen. He had requested her to return the money to its owner. Adela was happy to see the gift and the thought that the peddler had repented over his mistake. Why did the peddler sign himself a captain once? The peddler was a thief, but Adela and her father warmly received him as a captain once. This friendly treatment changed his mind, so he wanted behave as a captain. That is why he signed himself as a captain once. How did the peddler make the rat trap? Was his business profitable? Profitable. The peddler made the small rat trap of wire from the material which he got on by begging in the stores at the big farms, and sometimes he did some petty theories for his survival. His business was not much profitable. Why do you think Gandhi considered the Champaran episode to be a turning point in his life? The Champaran episode was turning point in Gandhi's life because his method of disobedience came out successful. The whole nation came to know that they could oppose the British. The peasants were filled with courage after Gandhi's movement. Why did Gandhi rebuke the lawyers? Gandhi rebuked the lawyer for collecting big fee from the poor peasant for their case. Why is Rajkumar Shukla described as being resolute? Rajkumar Shukla wanted Gandhi to visit Champaran. Gandhi was not in a position to visit Champaran immediately. Rajkumar accompanied Gandhi wherever he went. At last, Gandhiji went with him. That is why he is described as being resolved. Why did Gandhi agree to a settlement of 25% refund to the farmers? Gandhi agreed to the settlement of 20% refund to the farmers because for him the amount of the money was not important as the token victory of the peasants. Who was Rajkumar Shukla? Why did he request Gandhi go to Champaran? Rajkumar Shukla was a literate poor farmer. He requested Gandhi to help the indigo sharecropper of his area. He wanted Gandhi to come to Champaran and help the peasant of Champaran. What was the ancient arrangement between the peasant and landlords at Champaran. Most of the arable land there was divided into large estates owned by Britisher and worked by Indian tenants. The landlord compelled them out to plant indigo on the 15% of their land and surrender the entire harvest. What did Gandhi do about the culture and social backwardness of the Champaran village at that time? For this, Gandhi appealed to teacher Madhav Desai and Narahari Parekh with their wives volunteered for work. His son Devdas and his wife of Gandhi Kasturba also came there. Primary school were open in 6 villages. Kasturba taught in the rule of personal cleanliness and community sanitations. Gandhiji got a doctor volunteer to his service for 6 months. Describe the role of Subbu in Gemini Studio. Kotamanglu Subbu was considered number 2 in Gemini Studio because he was multi-talented person. He was next to his boss. Subbu was the most suitable man for making film. He was successful actor. He never aspired for lead role. He always performed better than the main player. So he was very popular there. Why was the office boy frustrated? Who did he show his anger on? The office boy was frustrated because he felt Subbu was responsible for his negligence, so he showed his anger on Subbu. Who was Subbu's principal? Mr. S.S. Watson, the boss of Gemini Studio, was the Subbu's principal. Who was Subbu's principal? Mr. S.S. Watson, boss of Gemini Studio. Who was the English visitor to the studio? Stephen Spencer was the English visitor to the studio. He was a poet and essayist. He was the editor of British periodical The Encounter. What was Panks and why did the Gemini Studio buy in the truckloads? Panks was the brand name of the makeup material as it was used in large quantity. Gemini Studio bought it in truckloads. Do you think Umberto Eco likes being interviewed? Give reason for your opinion. Yes, I think Umberto Eco likes being interviewed. Reason are: he answered Mukund all questions in detail and never seems to be in a haste. He answered all the questions patiently. Throughout the interview, he seems to be a relaxed mood. During his interview, his sense of humor also reflects that likes to be interviewed. During his entire interview, he does not speak anything aggressive against an interview or interviewer. Did Umberto Eco consider himself novelist? For an academic scholar, Umberto Eco was a professor at the University of Bologna, Italy. Umberto Eco was considered himself academic scholar first and then the novelist because during his interview with Mukund, he himself tells him, "I am a professor who writes on Sunday." What is the reason for the whose success of the novel? The name of the rose. The name of the rose is a serious novel. It is subjects metaphysics, theology, and medieval history. It sold 2 or 3 million in the US. Eco says why it worked at that time is a mystery. What are some of the positive view on interview? Some of the positive view on interview. In its heights from the interview is a source of truth and it is an art. It is supremely serviceable medium of communication. Why do you most celebrity writer despise being interviewed? Most celebrity writers despise being interviewed because they feel into disturb the privacy of their lives. It is immoral. It is a crime reveal some personal lives secret. Who in today's world in our cheap source of information about personalities? In today's world, the cheap source of information about our personality is interview. What was the Kipling stand regarding interview? For Kipling, an interview was immoral and it was crime and assault and an offense that deserve punishment. What is Dennis Brain's view regarding the position of an interviewer? According to Dennis Brain, an interviewer holds position of unprecedented power and influence. Did Sophie really meet Danny Casey? No, Sophie never met Danny Casey, a great Irish football player. Her meeting with Danny Casey and occurred. Her proposed meeting for the next week. All this was just of her imaginations. Which was the only occasion when she got to see Danny Casey in person. The only occasion when Sophie got to see Danny Casey in person was when her family went to watch football match on Saturdays. She saw him person at the football ground. Who is Geoff? What does he do? Geoff is Sophie's elder brother. He is an efficient mechanic traveling to his work each day. The far side of the city, Sophie is jealous of Geoff's silence. Does her family believe her story? No, Sophie's family does not believe her story at all. They all know. She lives in a world of her imagination and that she is in the habit of telling lies. Which country did Danny Casey play? Danny Casey played for Ireland. What is the kind of pain and ache and the poets feel? The poet is pained to see her mother's death. Pale face, she suffered from her childhood's fear of losing her mother. Why are the young tree described as sprinting, old as lifeless and pale, while young as is full of joy and energy? Why was the mother being compared to late winter's moon? The late winter's moon appeared dull and shrouded. It loses brightness. So the poet compared her aged mother's pale and as face withered face to the late winter's moon. Why was How does the poet describe her mother? The poet describes her mother aging face to be pale and dim as the late winter's moon, and whose journey of life about to end. What is the theme of the poem? While traveling from her parents' home, Kochi, the poet sadly looks at her aged mother, wrinkled and colorless face, and she suffers from her childhood's fear of losing her mother.